video, you'll learn how to use commas according to the 7th edition of the Publication Manual of the American Psychological Association, which is the official guide to APA style. According to APA, punctuation establishes the flow of a sentence, telling readers where to pause, stop, or take a detour. Commas, along with semicolons and colons, are used to indicate a pause in thought, and it's important to know how to use them effectively so that your writing will be clear and understandable. Commas have three main functions. They help organize information in a sentence, they set off information that is not essential to the meaning of a sentence, and they help clarify what you mean. The APA 7th Manual lists 8 uses of commas, 4 of which clarify the meaning of a sentence, and 4 apply to the use of commas with numbers. The first way to use commas is between words in a series of 3 or more items. This includes placing a comma before the last item in a series. This is known as the Oxford comma, and although not all writing manuals require the use of the Oxford comma, APA does. In this example, notice the comma after height and the comma after weight. Both commas are required because it's a series of 3 items: height, weight, and age. The comma after weight is the Oxford comma, which is also called a serial comma. Can you guess why? The second way to use commas to clarify the meaning of a sentence is to use a comma after an introductory phrase. An introductory phrase does just what it sounds like. It introduces the main part of the sentence. When you use an introductory phrase, you're indicating that your main message is yet to come. In this example, the introductory phrase provides context for when the nurse asks the patient to rate his pain. Notice that the introductory phrase cannot stand alone. It lacks a subject and a verb, so the reader doesn't know what happens after the medication is administered or even who administered it. The third use of commas is to set off a non-essential clause that adds information to the sentence, but if removed would leave the sentence grammatically correct and the meaning of the sentence intact. In this example, "who has a terrific sense of humor" is a non-essential clause which describes Dr. Jones, but it's not essential to the meaning of the sentence, which is Dr. Jones teaches radiation therapy, although it is nice to know that Dr. Jones is humorous. The fourth use of commas is to separate 2 independent clauses joined by a conjunction. An independent clause expresses a complete thought and can stand alone as a sentence. Independent clauses contain a subject and a verb, and the 2 independent clauses in this example are joined by the conjunction "and." Notice that each clause is a complete thought. Facial expressions were presented can stand alone as a sentence, and so can the second clause. Different photo models were chosen randomly. The conjunction "and" is one of 7 coordinating conjunctions that can be used to join independent clauses. The remaining 6 are but, for, or, nor, so, and yet. The last 4 uses of commas apply to using them with numbers. First, use a comma to set off statistics in the text that already contain parentheses so you can avoid nested parentheses. In this example, there are 2 values enclosed in parentheses. M equals 7.48 and SD equals 1.99. Use a comma to separate these values. Second, commas are used to set off the year and exact dates in the text. That is, when the month, day, and year are included. No comma is necessary when only the month and year is used. Third, use a comma to set off the year in parenthetical in-text citations. And finally, use a comma to separate groups of 3 digits in numbers of 1,000 or more. There are exceptions to this rule, such as page numbers, serial numbers, and temperature, among others, so be sure to check out section 6.38 on page 180 in the APA 7th edition manual. Now that you know how to use commas according to the APA style manual, take the quiz to test your knowledge. It's not graded, so the correct answers will appear once you submit the quiz. Once you complete the module, you'll be awarded a badge. And remember, if you need help, ask a librarian.